All right. Welcome back to another episode of my movie review series, episode 495. Now, a few days ago, HAUNTober, week 2, I said I was going to come back and do Scream 4 because that's what I promised earlier this year. And here we are, man. Scream 4, 2011, starring a very extensive cast. Yeah, David Arquette, Nev Campbell, happy belated birthday, Scream 7, welcome back. Still not going to see it due to circumstances. They made you come back. They made her come back. But yeah, Courtney Cox, Emma Roberts, real pretty girl. Hayden Panettiere, yeah. Anthony Anderson, Alison Brie, yeah. Um, Adam Brody, Hank, Rory Culkin. Culkin is in this movie. How about that? Um, Marielle, Jeff. Yeah. There's a lot of hot girls in this movie. I mean, god damn. Eric um, Knudsen, Mary McDowell, Marley Shoot. Ooh, Wendy Peppercorn. Oh, there goes my baby. Um, Nico Tortorella. But yeah, tell you, man. Yeah, there's a lot of hot girls in this movie. A lot of hot girls in this movie. Yeah, I tell you, man. Yeah, this movie though. Yeah, Scream 4, the best one next to the first one. And yeah, what a banger! The best one of the initial 4, and the best one next to the first movie. And yeah, it is a real banger. This movie, damn. You know, you know, with this one, you know, I have to say, out of all the horror movies that I watch, yeah, I could pretty much add this in the my top 10. Maybe within the top 5. Maybe. You know, one of the best horror sequels out there, even though it did not did it? Did it? I don't know. It probably did make the list. I have not seen that list in a long while. But yeah, if it did make my top 5 horror sequel list, then cool. If not, it should be in the top. It should be in the part 2. But anyway, yeah, man. Yeah, 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 Sydney Prescott, she comes back into town. She's a book writer, you know, everybody's favorite survivor, Sydney Prescott. She comes back into town doing her book tour. And then yeah, here we go with the murders all over again, Ghostface, two killers, and yeah, Sydney is the target. Only thing is, it's not about killing Sydney this time, it's about being Sydney. I guess I should hit you with the who the killer is. But yeah, And the one thing about Scream, the entire franchise. I mean, from the first movie all the way down to the sixth movie, soon to be seventh. The one thing about Scream is that this is one of the best murder mystery series of all time. One of the best murder mystery series of all time. I mean, if you see those who done it cases, you know, like Clue, for instance, you see that, yeah, yeah, you get to guess who the killer is, and who the yeah, who did it, where, with what, you know. Even though when that's pretty much his Clue, with Scream, for instance, you got you know trying to guess who the killer is, and yeah, watching these movies, when you watch them back, the fun part of the game is, you get to, because it's always two killers, with the exception of the third movie. It's always two killers. So the fun part of this game is not only you get to guess who it was, but which killer killed who. You know, yeah, which one had the victim in the in the in each film. You know, when Jill's mother died in this movie. You know, yeah, should we think that it was Jill that killed? Ah, damn it. I just gave it away, Eh, If you've seen the movie, then hey, you know who it is. Yeah. Was it Jill that killed her mom, or was it Charlie that killed her mom, You know? Is Jill really that sadistic that she get to kill her own mom, or did she let her secret boyfriend, her partner in this crime, Charlie, be the one that killed her mom? I mean, who did it? You know? Who's the one that killed the two cops in the that was sitting outside, I think it was Charlie that did that one. Yeah, and that death scene alone, you see the Tank, I mean Adam Brody's character, you know, what's his name? Hoss. What was the character's name? Ross Hoss. Oh yeah, the boy is not even Southern, and his name is Hoss. He's not even a big guy, but his name is Hoss. Ross Hoss. Yeah, he gets stabbed in the back, and then Anthony Anderson's character, Perkins, he gets stabbed right in the face, right in the face, right in the frontal lobe. Bled into the brain, okay, right into the frontal lobe. And this motherfucker's still alive, dying slowly, blood gushing from his head, dying slowly. But yeah, he gets out the car, you know, make a few steps, throws a punch, even though the killer is standing over there, you know. Yeah, he staggers, down to his knees, say his last words, which I don't think you can say nowadays because he's not doing very well. But yeah, he says, fuck Bruce Willis. And then he just drops down and he's dead. But yeah, yeah, that scene was it just completely overdone. I'm sorry, but that scene was just completely overdone. I mean, come on, you just get a stab in your fucking skull, and you're gonna have time to make a few steps, throw a faint punch, and then say with a clear voice, "Fuck Bruce Willis," and then boom, he dropped to the pavement. Yeah, Anthony Anderson. What do you expect? What do you expect from a comedic actor? You gotta do something funny before you die, I guess. And so yeah, yeah, death scenes in this movie. Yeah, they're pretty they're pretty vicious. They're pretty vicious. And yeah, just like a real good RKO. It comes right out of nowhere. Like in the beginning of the movie with with one of the victims in the stab films. Um, yeah, Shanae Grimes. Yeah, her fine ass gets stabbed. Surprise maneuver. And yeah, that pretty little liar, Lucy Hale, gets stabbed. You know, and then yeah, you get Anna Paquin and Veronica Mars, and you get Sookie Stackhouse and Veronica Mars. Anna Paquin and Kristen Bell. You get those two ladies. Stab seven girls. You know, yeah, Veronica Mars kills Sookie. Bill Compton, yeah, he's left without a wife. And then yeah, you get the real two victims in the cold opening scene. Yeah, Amy Tagarin and Britt Robertson. You know, those two actresses, those two beautiful young ladies. One of them has a 4.0 GPA and a 135 IQ. So yeah, hey, Ghostface, he pretty much labeled her as the dumb blonde with the big tits. So yeah, I have a 4.0 GPA and a 135 IQ, asshole. You tell him, baby. Let him know. Let him know your status. Yes. I'm not coming down with something. But yeah, I tell you. Yeah. Yeah, the cold opening scene, then went meta with it. Yeah, you thought that was the two new victims of the franchise, but nah, they're just victims of the stab movie, of another stab movie, Stab Six. And then yeah, you get cold opening for Veronica Mars and Sookie Stackhouse. And yeah, that was another opening for Stab Seven, you know? And then yeah, you get real cold opening for Scream 4. And yeah, the cold opening, nicely done. Yeah, every single kill in this movie, nicely done. They put Marty Shelton's character and they made her look like the red herring, you know? Yeah, it wasn't her, it was Culkin and Julia Roberts' niece, Eric Roberts' daughter, you know? Jill, Jill Roberts, Emma Roberts' character. Ugh, a lot of names. Yeah, yeah, they're the ones that was the great killers in this movie. You know, you get Hayden Panettiere, her character having being the horror aficionado. Yeah, man, I tell you, that scene, that that key scene. Ghostface is on the phone with her. You know, and yeah, give her the trivia questions. What was Jason's weapon? Yeah, the machete. Michael Myers' weapon, butcher knife. Leatherface's weapon, chainsaw. Freddy Krueger's weapon, razor fingers. you know, yeah, he was, you know, killer was it was Jill, obviously. Yeah, Jill was hitting her with the questions. Yeah, she was just firing out the answers, and then yeah, the prime question. Yeah. Name the remake which the killer had the ground. What was the groundbreaking remake which the killer? Anyway, yeah, whatever the question was, yeah, this girl in a rapid fire pace, naming out every single remake that came out in that time frame. I mean, god damn, I think she named all 15 of them. And man, oh man, oh man, Jesus. The way she just fired it out, I couldn't have done that shit. And I'm a horror aficionado myself, and I couldn't have done that shit. Not in that pace. Yeah. And under that pressure too. I mean, Jesus. Under that pressure. No, not me, man. Not me. Not me. In the heat of the moment, under that pressure, not me. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. I mean, hey, I would have named just a few, but 15 of them in that rapid fire pace, not me. I wouldn't have done that. He would have got me for sure. But yeah, this girl, Kirby, damn, he is, yeah, he's somebody you want on your side when you're doing a trivia, a trivia game, uh, trivia game showdown, if you would call it. You know, she was somebody on your side if you want to do something like that. And yeah, he kicked ass with that in that scene. Hitting Panettiere, you know, fine as hell, kicked ass in that scene. And yeah, you know, I see why the fans wanted her to stay alive and stay in the franchise. Well, they got their wish in Stream 6, you know, she came back, you know, even though, yeah, she died in this movie. She did say that she died for a little while in Scream 6. She did say she died for a little while, and then she was revived. Either so yeah, you know, whatever. You know, whatever. You know. Considering what I heard about Scream 7, nobody's gonna be dead in this franchise. Yeah, so yeah, I tell you, man, yeah. Great stuff, man. This movie, 100%, obviously damn good shit. Straight up 5 out of 5. Continue, it's one of my favorites. And yeah, you know, yeah, Jill's motive for being the killer, you know, Sydney is her cousin, you know. She lived her life, you know, hearing Sydney, 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 you know. Yeah, you know, Sydney, Sydney, Sydney. It's all about Sydney. She pretty much jammed Brady in the family, you know, and yeah, she's just her cousin, you know. So yeah, who needs friends when you got fans? You know, she wants fans, you know. You know, the internet fame, you know, that's what it's all about for this particular go around in the in the this portion of the franchise, you know. The reboot or the remake, you know, that was the subject of the killer's motive and the internet fame, you know. We all gotta go viral on something, you know. Anybody got TikTok, you know, you doing those stupid ass dances to make it go viral for it. I mean, hell, the first Megan movie, the Megan dance, you know, doing that, you go viral for it, you know. So yeah, with this movie, that was the subject, you know. Yeah, the reboot and internet fame, and yeah, Jill, she wanted the internet fame, and yeah, she got it. She was the hero, even though she did not live to get her fame. You know, the media, they ate it up, branded her the hero. Yeah, until they found out that she was the real killer. You know, got to write a rebuttal on that one. So yeah, I tell you, man, yeah, this movie, yeah, it just hit you with so much of the so much great pacing. You know, great moments, great pacing. Yeah, yeah, one of the best of the initial four. and one of the best in the entire franchise, in my opinion, next to the first one, in my opinion. So yeah, Scream 4, man. Straight up, 5 out of 5. That's my review, Jack. And I was sticking to it. Now, next week, man. Next week in October week 3 next week, and it's Vampire Week once again, man. Yeah, that portion of the month belongs to the bloodsuckers. So yeah, next week gonna talk about the a certain invitation. I think I just gave away the title. If you know, you know. Check out my other shit right here. Subscribe to me right here. And in the meantime, in between time, Jack, you check out the HAUNTober playlist right here. And this show is off.